Good morning, our buddies, and welcome to Bricolage with Pink Girly. This is Pink Girly Lori, and welcome in, welcome in. Happy Sunday. I'm sitting here watching my timer, make sure I'm on time. I could be doing stuff. I could be. Hey, Cynthia. Good morning. I see Jacqueline was here already, but I don't know if she can join us. She might be floating around the house getting some stuff done. She's always on the move, that kid. She's always on the move. All right, so just this morning, I'm going to just jump right in, even though there's just a few of us here, because I want to get started. This is a little bit of, I think, of a long process, but this is just what I felt like doing today. Oh, she's here. I thought maybe you were cooking or doing dishes or something, honey. And what I have here is just a bunch of scraps, really. I pulled out some scraps that I had, and I did trim some of them to the size of a playing card. Actually, I use this as a template. You know. Oh, I know it's gross, right? There have been times in my marriage where my husband will say, "Oh, I don't think I want to use a dishwasher for a while." I'm like, okay, whatever. I don't know. He's a crazy individual. To me, it's like, if you can get it in the dishwasher, get it in there, you know, whatever. Um, oh, it's broken. Oh, bummer. I hate when that happens. I hate when that happens. I don't really, were they? Oh, hi, Joe. Nice to see you. I was going to say, do you prefer Joanne or is calling you Joe okay? And good morning. Welcome in, by the way. Yeah, some of these styles of nails, they go quick. But see, the thing with my sister is she gives you a heads up of what's coming and what's going to be what's new, and she kind of has an idea of what might be popular, and she hawks it. Both work, okay. Um, she'll get it for you if she can get it for you, but sometimes they go really quick. They have other styles that do this. I have a red set somewhere that kind of do this, but this pair really the color really changes. Okay, I'm always digressing talking about my nails. So this is a little smaller than what I've made in the past, but I thought I would try this size. So it's the size of a playing card. I like to use the templates so I can kind of get my pages to be the same. So these are all going to be little pages. Of course, I want mine to look grungy and kind of, like it's been run over by a truck kind of a look. So that's not how it looks now. Now, if you wanted to try to do this and you like these brighter fabrics and you want the fabrics the way they are, and sometime I might do that too, but for today's project, I want them to look grungy and dirty and like the fabric's been around for a long time. So I just got some bits together here. Look, there's a little road piece of paper. And then there's some smaller bits of stuff. Not that. Let me see that I just threw in here. Look, I've got a couple of yo-yos in here. This one's not together very well. I must have made that one. Look, I have a piece of, I think this was from a scarf I made my bonus daughter-in-law. This is alpaca, I believe. I thought I'm going to throw that in too, see what it looks like. A little bit of ticking. See, this isn't page size, but I'll show you what I'm going to do with that. So some of these other things haven't been cut yet. And what I want to do is I want to put these in a coffee bath, okay, like a coffee dye, if you will. And so my husband, who's always looking out for me, really, I don't give him enough credit for it, mostly, but he purchased some meat or something and put this aside and said, "Hon, this might be good for you. You're always dying stuff." And I thought, "Oh yeah, this would work good." So here I've got some of my junk. There's Judy. Hi. Yes, that would be good. Run it over with your go-kart. I've got some instant coffee again that, we just pick up cheap wherever. I'm not sure what that is I dripped in here already. It'll be fine. I've got a spoon. Now I buy pickled juice. A couple of reasons. It helps with my leg cramps, but I also really like it. And these little bottles are so great. So I filled this up with, it was really hot water earlier, but I not filled it up, but I put a goodly amount of water in here. And I usually like to start with hot water. And I thought this just would be easier. You know, this is not a hard process, but maybe some people, they're new or they're just nervous and they don't know what to do. Look, I'm just going to spoon in some of this instant coffee. I like it to be pretty dark. So I'm going to put 3 or 4 in here. Now I'm not worried about these crumbles. Now I can always make it darker. And if I want it lighter, add water. Okay? How clever am I? You didn't realize I was this clever, did you? Now I'm going to shake this up. Shake, shake, shake. Of course, the hotter your water, the more quickly, your coffee bits are going to dissolve. But they dissolve pretty quickly. This is, at this point, tepid, warm. Just a little warm. So we don't need this any longer. Let's find a spot for that. And now I'm going to put a little bit. I'm not going to put a lot of liquid in here, I don't think, because I want the fabric to soak it up. And I'm going to mush it around. And then I'm going to iron my fabric to dry it quickly because a couple of things. Because I'm streaming and time is of the essence, if you will. And if I put this in my dryer, my husband will not be happy because it throws your fabric all around and then the coffee flies and it really stains and yucks up the inside of your dryer. So, you might not want to do this. Now, a lot of this fabric is just cotton fabric and it's a thin one-sided piece of fabric. I'm not too crazy about that, you see. So I'm just going to do what we can do. And we'll just see. Now, some of the bits I may want to add some alcohol into it because I want them to look maybe dripped on and, really, really grunged up. I'm just checking to see if I've missed anybody. I don't think I have. Okay. Welcome in if you're just arrived. So this is just a little plastic throwaway, that you get some meat in or whatever. But I think this will serve me well. So I've made my coffee dye. And I haven't done it this way before, but I'm going to try it. I'm just going to throw some of this on. I don't want them too, well, I can wring them out. I mean, I want enough in here where I can start to stain this fabric that I've got. So now see, I've got some crumbles here from the coffee that I missed when I was throwing it in my little jar, my little bottle. Now, this is not anywhere near the setup that Jacqueline has. Jacqueline's got bins and spray bottles and screen shelves. I mean, the whole 9 yards. I mean, she's really got it going on. Now, she really is. She knows what she's doing. This is just, a layman's idea of how you can stain stuff, if that's what you want to do. Now, I usually am chinchy and I, save this. So once I wring this out, I usually put it through a funnel and stick it back in my jar. And then I keep it, if it's still in pretty good shape to use, I just keep it in my refrigerator. So it doesn't get, the moldy molds on it. You don't want the moldy molds, girls. No moldy molds. Had them, been there, done that, not good. Now, see, this is not super grungy. I probably could have put more coffee in here to make it a little stronger. but it's going to be what it is, right? I'm going to make it as dark and grungy as I possibly can. Now, not all of this, of course, is going to be pages. Some of it's going to be like little add-ons to the pages. Now, do you know what I mean? Has anyone ever taken apart or found, if you find one, oh my gosh, lucky you, an old quilt, say like at a flea market or a thrift shop, where whoever made it, they just put layers of fabric. It's almost like a cantha kind of a fabric, where they layer the fabric and they just put a little stitch through it and knot it, and the little ends of the thread stick out. I love that. And usually the in-between parts, like the stuffing part, is really gross and like looks like it's going to fall apart and it's really yucky. See, I love all that jazz. So that's kind of what I want to try to mimic or do with these fabrics. I didn't get out any batting though. I got myself boxed in here and I couldn't get to any batting. But I thought I could just layer the fabric, like years ago, like well, my grandma would. Like my grandma would be what, 120 years old or something. They just layered stuff to make it thick and warm, and then just put a couple of stitches in it to hold it together. And that's really the kind of binding I'm going to do today too. Just stitch it together. Now I'm going to use my big old ruined iron because, like I said, I don't have time to wait for this to dry. Is the Ange here? Hi, Ange. Good morning. Can't stay. Ange, you got a guy on the side or something? I don't know. You're not hanging around much lately. I think there's something you're not telling us. There's something you're not telling us. All right, so I'm going to get all these little bits, at least with a little bit of. Now, you can really soak these, right? Really fill up a tub or a pot, whatever you have, and soak these and make them darker. But I'm thinking to push the process a little bit, I might use a little bit of alcohol ink. Of course, that's not going to look good on my fingers, but I think I'm going to do it anyway. Hey, G3, how are you? All right, good. Sit and relax. Yes. All right, this is eggplant. I might want to shoot a little bit of that one. I pulled out my mushroom. Let's just see how this goes. If I can see, my hands are wet now. Oh, here we go. And what I want to try this on. See, that's going to make it look really grungy, huh? This is what I'm wanting. Look at this piece of lace. Let's grunge this up a little bit more. Oh yeah, now you're talking. And I pulled out lettuce green. I might want to put some of that in here. And my eggplant. These just look like old greasy spots. Judy says, I have a quilt I made when Mama passed. I clipped pieces from her clothes and some of Dad's and just stitched it together. I put their birth and death there. Oh, that sounds beautiful, Judy. Yes, this is alcohol ink. Ranger brand. I just thought it might help darken and make this look grungy like I want it to look. When I was doing those cellophane tapes, these are a couple of my favorite colors. I wanted to make something similar with my grandchildren's clothes, and I know I had asked my daughter, but I don't know if she remembered really to save me like a t-shirt here or there so I could make a little something with like their clothes they used to wear, They're kind of getting old now. And this lettuce green kind of gave me the feeling of kind of old and grunged and just dripping on some stuff. Yeah, you know what, Brenda? I just am not that kind of person. It'll come off. It'll come off. I don't go anywhere. Not trying to impress anybody. I don't know. See, just little bits like that where I can get it, to look a little cruddier. And could probably use a couple different things, I would guess. Boy, I'm liking that purple. Let's do this. Let's just push it all in. I should have gotten some black, I guess. Now these aren't too terribly wet, but they are pretty, pretty wet. Oh, sorry for that sniffle there. I have started it on a new medication, which my body has not really gotten used to yet, if I could say it that way. So I've been very, very tired. I slept quite a bit yesterday. And I may have to run to the loo. I'll try to give you a warning if that happens. But they say it takes a couple of weeks for your body to adjust. So, life with the elderly. Life. Now, this one seems a little on the dry side. Look, I'm just going to make a couple little marks. 34. And, I was wondering, or thought maybe a kitty cat or something ran across your. It's all right. Now, of course, you can always add. If I were doing this on my own without time constraints, like with being on a live stream, I would have cleared way to my sewing machine. And I would probably zigzag these pages. But that is not the case for today. All right, so most of these pieces of fabric that I'm using as pages are going to be doubled because a lot of the fabric is one-sided, if you know what I mean. Hey, Gail, good morning. So the print and the design is on one side, and the other side is just kind of, let's see if I have a piece here I can show you. Well, you know what I mean, I think. I think you know what I mean. Like this. See, this is the back side. That's the front side. So I don't want that in my book. I don't want to see that in my book. So then I'll put two pieces together. And unless I'm going to glue them, which I guess I could glue them. I haven't thought about that. Then I want to stitch them, So, hey, Kellyanne, good morning. So now I've got my bin here of wet fabric. Let's see how I want to do this. Okay, so I'm going to move this aside. I have a little table here. I'm going to put this on my table. And then I'm going to pull up my craft ironing board mat or whatever you want to call it. And I guess it's a good idea for me to cap these up. I may want to use these again. But for now, we're just going to cap them up because I tend to I tend to knock things over. You see. And this, of course, was beautiful fabric, but I yucked it all up doing really things similar to what I'm doing right this minute. Let me get in a better position here. All right, now she's eating up. I have my scarf on. So now I'm going to take my scarf off. Got my sweater on. I don't know how long I'm going to last with my sweater. It's just been dreary and rainy and yucky here. Oh, yeah, tornadoes. What does Gail say? One of the tornadoes was only a few miles from my brother's place in Michigan, but everything's okay. Oh, good. Jacqueline said they had a tornado warning. She's in Ohio. All right. Now, so I've got a piece of paper towel here. And I'm just going to start just drying these bits out. Dry them up so I can work with them. Gail says, since I've been going through got some medical changes, my body temp changes several times. I know, I've been so cold, Gail, and then all of a sudden it's like a furnace. I really think I'm done menopause. I don't know. I'm old, girls. I be old. All right, look how cruddy this iron is. And I don't really care because my friend Betty gave me this. She said, what am I ironing? Take the iron. I said, but I'm going to just probably ruin it. She said, I don't care. So I have put it to good use. Now I find that this usually, once this iron heats up, which it may not be, not quite hot yet. I didn't wiggle it. This one you have to wiggle it to get it going. Now see, this was a hemmed piece of something, and I was hoping I could get this. Hey, Teresa, how are you? Good morning. Now this one I didn't cut yet. I can just hear my grandmother saying, oh, I used to use that as a rag. Yeah, I'll put that on. I'll put that in. Yeah. Now, most of these, if you're just arriving, I used a playing card as a template to cut my size. So they're not quite a 3x5. They're like 2.5 by 3.5. I've made done similar type projects where the pieces were a little larger, 3x4 maybe. I decided to do a little smaller this time. And some bits of lace are always fun. Now, what I didn't think about was drying that piece of yarn. So that's going to have to wait to be added for sure. So now I'm just now on a nice spring or summer day, you could lay these out on a paper towel in your yard or your picnic table or something. Of course, weigh them down because they could blow away. Just don't put them in your dryer. Yeah, this is coffee, instant coffee and water, Teresa, that I mixed up earlier. Just put it in my little bottle and gave it a shake. And then I added some squirts of different alcohol inks just to try to make the fabric look really grungy. Judy offered to run it over with her cart, but She hasn't arrived yet, so I don't know what she's doing. She's probably making tea and cinnamon cakes or something. Our little Judy. Our little Judy. Now, some of these bits that I threw into the coffee are not all page bits because I wanted to have some other little pieces of things to stitch or put on my pages. Now, in all likelihood, guys, I'm just going to show you what I'm going to do. It's probably not going to be finished because I need quite a few of these little pieces of fabric. And of course, they're all wet. So I'm ironing them for two reasons: to dry them out and to flatten them out so I can use them as pages. Now, of course, some of them are just not as grungy as I would like. So you kind of have to just, oh, you're welcome, Teresa. This may not be your deal. You may like bright, bright fabrics and pastels and things like that. That's great. Do your own thing. Now, look, see, I have some of these. I didn't throw these in the coffee. These are little pieces of fabric samples. So I thought, oh, well, they might be interesting. And of course, they're a little heavier to give some of the pages a little bit of weight. I'm just kind of wringing out some of the excess in a piece of paper towel. But, if you were doing this on your own, you could just do this over the sink or in a bowl and put this back in your Judy, you crack me up. She said I spit my juice across the table. No one has called me little in 30 years, so thank you. And I am eating French toast, see, and crispy bacon, prepared by my talented son. Well, God bless your son. I'm glad he's taking care of you there. That's great. I knew something was keeping you from bringing that card over. I think this was an old sheet or something. I don't know. Last night I was taking strings out of... Oh, that's what I wanted to show you. Hold on, where did I put that? See, now my hands are cruddy. Judy, I thought you were away from the keyboard because you were driving. Hey, Peggy, good morning. Oh, yeah, now that's sticking to my... Oh, that's good. That grunged up pretty good. I got a couple different pieces of this. That looks like it shrunk up a little bit. Yeah, okay. So if you think it's old and... Oh, Judy, that's so cool. I said to my son yesterday, when are you coming to see your mother? I'll try to get over tomorrow. I don't know. Of course, he's an hour or so away. And ever since he got that second fiddle, I got to tell you, doesn't seem to have any time. But I don't know. We'll see. Him and his cousin were getting together, maybe a couple other buddies last night. There was some kind of fight or wrestling, or I don't know, some kind of fight on last night. I don't know. I don't understand the interest in that, but different strokes, right? Look, this is just a piece of old embroidery from something that I took apart. I don't throw any of that jazz away. I have trash, okay? I have trash, but don't get me wrong. I have trash, but I don't throw much away. I mean, if it's in the bin, it's really probably pretty yucky. Oh, that's nice. You had a nice visit on your birthday, Gail. I was hoping you had a nice day. All right, so this It's just a piece of lace. I'm hoping this isn't, I don't think it'll melt. Let's just see. See, this is just the edge of something I cut off. Which brings me to what I want to show you. Do you know how you can get lace, it's flat, and then other times you get lace, it's gathered? And when it's gathered, it's got like a little piece of netting like this over the top of it, and they stitch it down, it holds the gather. See how rough and yucky this is? Some of it is like that. And other times it's like really soft, really cool stuff that is really nice to use, like, say, um, for the tops of your tags in your journals. And then I was taking one apart last night. I have to show you what it is. I mean, I've never seen one like this before. It's so pretty. I have to show you. You'll be thrilled. Let me know if Joyce comes in because I want to show you something Joyce sent me and thank her in person. But look at this. See, this one I'm taking because I'm not too big on the gathered lace. I mostly like to use it flat. So this is how it looked. See, like this. This one doesn't have a big gather in it, but it's gathered a little bit. So I'm taking it apart, taking the top off so I can have it flat like this to use. But look what I discovered when I started taking it apart, taking it off. I noticed this little edge, this little like trim here. It's folded in half and it's like another piece of lace. Look, like a lot of times the lace will be in here and they fold it over and they stitch and gather. This was folded in half and it's stitched on this edge. And when I'm taking it off and I open it up, I've got this fantastic piece of fabric. Isn't it cool? I haven't seen that before. So, of course, I was all jazzed up and excited about that last night. Doesn't take much. This is an old piece of something that was really worn out. So, of course, this all takes time. If you do it this way, you don't need a lot of space. I have my whole kitchen counter engaged because I was dyeing doilies and paper and whatnot. It's a little damp. Hmm. I wouldn't mind a grab and go visit every once in a while. Our son's about anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour away. Our daughter is an hour and 15, and she's got young kids. So now of course, they're older, so they're involved in more things. They're not old. They're still, well, Charlotte's double digits. She'll be 11 this year. Gosh, I just can't even. She'll be 11. Our grandson will be 8. So it's not like you can just pick them up. Hey, Linda. Hi, good morning. Linda Tucci. It still has some little threads in it. Now, if you're only doing a couple pieces of this, it goes pretty quick. But when you're doing a whole menagerie like I'm doing, it takes a little while. Now, this was something that, see, it almost looks like somebody ruffled it. I don't think this is, well, I don't know. Maybe Jacqueline did ruffle it. I don't know how to do that ruffly thing. I didn't know if she did. I know she does it on fabric, like regular fabric. But this looks like a piece of lace or something that was done the ruffles on it. She usually knows her work. But I threw it in the coffee anyway. So we forgot daylight savings. I thought I had extra time. I said, oh, I got to get up and get moving. Good thing that I did, because it was later than I thought. So let me see what I have in the way. I want to grab a couple of more pieces that I'm going to use as pages. Now, my idea behind this really is just to have a little book where you can stitch in, maybe do different stitches or add little buttons that, maybe you don't want to use on another project, or you may have a little pin or something that's a memory that you want to preserve. Things that you don't want to put in a junk drawer, and that you'd like to have maybe somewhere where you could look at it and enjoy it in a different way than just like throwing it in a box or something. And paper journals, they're great, but some of these things, the paper journals just doesn't work. So you might want a place to pin something or stitch something down. I just had to set my alarm. Sometimes I wake up and I can go right back. Well, I usually can go right back to sleep, if I'm honest, but I don't, and I get thinking about stuff. Yeah. I have my phone set where, it tells me it's time to go to bed because, I'm an infant. I need to be told. Trying to get a better sleep score. Oh, Patty. Hi, Patty. Good morning. What are you up to? I bought some vintage yo-yos from Pearl, and I don't know, this one doesn't look like it's together very well, so I'm thinking maybe I made that one. I don't know. Let's see if I can. Yeah, that's kind of coming apart, I think. It's got to be one that I did. Look, here's a look. Nope, that's not. I thought it was a string I could pull to tighten it. I do okay with making these, but I'm not very good at, stitching it. Like knotting it, making it tight so it keeps its little gathery thing. Its little gathery thing. Look, now I got a cramp in my finger. Oh yeah, that looks nice and grungy. Nice and grungy. right, so I'm going to start putting some of these together. Let me just, now this one I didn't cut yet. I'm not sure about this fabric. I think this might be one of the Shindy fabrics. And there's Joyce. Good morning, Joyce. Joyce, I've been wanting to message you, and every time I think of it, I slept quite a bit yesterday, getting used to some new medicine. And then I woke up and thought, oh, I haven't messaged Joyce. And then it was late. I don't like to message people too late. That's one thing my parents ingrained in us. You don't call people. Of course, there was no messaging back then, but you don't call people past 9 o'clock at night. And I think it's a good rule. Personally, I think it's a good rule. Yeah, this is a Shindy because it's got all these crazy stitches on it. Shindy carpet. They roll all kinds of crazy fabric together to make a carpet. So Joyce sent me a little happy mail, and I'm going to show you what she sent me. She's very clever, our Joyce, and she's very talented, as I'm sure most of you are. We're a talented bunch. And very thoughtful. Okay, so this, see, the iron's starting to bother my hand. Oh, that dried up pretty nice. Okay, let's set that one over there. All right, this is my paper towel. All right, get ready for this. Oh, you got it, Cindy? Oh, I hope you like them. Yeah, I gave you I sent the whole thing. I thought they turned out cute. Oh, I hope you enjoy them. I thought they were cute. Thanks for letting me know. It's fun to know that something's arrived, especially like if you send it as a package, you can track it. But if you're just a little something and you send it, with a stamp, you don't always know if it gets there. All right, so Joyce, I got this little surprise in the mail. Well, she sent me these pearl beads. So how fun are these going to be to use? All different sizes. Thank you, Joyce. I don't really have much like this, so that was very nice. Look, this is a bookmark. I love purple and green. So look, you put this in your book. I'm trying to decide where I want to use it. I think it's going to do, it's either my Bible or a journal. Look, and then it's got the little leaf on the end, so you can mark your place. And you've got the pretty flower, and it marks your place. And then at the bottom, the leaf hangs out. Isn't it cute? See, I just see this hanging over a journal page, or maybe a journal cover. I know, right, Cynthia? Isn't it pretty? She does nice work. Joyce does nice work. And then look at this. This is a heart, a little a lavender purple heart. Look, I don't know how she did that. She pinched it there to make it a heart. It's got little sleeves coming up. Okay, Ange, I'm ready for you. We'll do lunch. Look, she did like a little edge there. Now, she suggested I could put my rings in here, but see, Joyce, I don't really take my rings off. So, by my comfy chair, I have this little table, and I'm always looking for something to put little things in. So, this is going to go right next to me. I still have my Santa hanging up too, Joyce. I've got to tell you, my Santa Claus, my little Santa Claus, he's sitting right there next to me all the time. So, this little thing is going to be sitting there, and I could put if I take my nails off, I can put that in there. I've got little needles and stuff. I can sit in there, and my table can be more organized. And then I have it right there. I can look at it all the time. See, I know it's cute, isn't it? And then see, when you do something like this for somebody, every time I look at it, I think of our sweet Joyce. Huh? Little pieces of ephemera. I could dump those beads in here. Or even like a project. If I'm going to use these, I can put the beads in. And look, see, it's got a nice little edge here, so they're not going to roll out. They kind of, hey, Debbie, good morning. I know, isn't it cute? So Joyce, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. These are beautiful. I appreciate your time and your creativity. Love them. All right, so I'm going to set my iron back off to the side here. And I'm going to face it out that way so it doesn't melt any plastic bags, which is probably a good idea. And then I'm just going to start making pages. And, you could put a little filler or something in between these if you wanted, right? And some I might stack more than one or two. Now, see, this guy's a little larger, so I'm going to have to trim him. So let's do. Now, the coffee does stiffen up the pages a little bit. But on previous little books like this that I made, I put, oh, look, it's long this way too. I put some paint on it too. Which really, makes it a little stiffer. So that's going to be a page. I'm going to stitch or something around the edge. This is going to be a page, I think, by itself. These are to add on to pages. Let's get a cup. Now, this is a heavier type fabric, right? This is still a little damp. Hey, Clemens Crafts, good morning. Are you Vanessa? I'm assuming you're Vanessa. Welcome in. Good morning. This is still a little damp. So I think I'm going to maybe do that on that one. Now I'm going to offset them so I know what I got going on here. This still has to be cut. I wanted, I had these little fabric. I had these little fabric samples that I cut, and I couldn't get the paper off. I tried a couple of tricks that were suggested, but they didn't work. So let it be. This is going to go on top of there. I'm going to stitch that together. This is not looking as grungy as I want it to look. Now you'll notice most of it's blue, which that's what I grabbed. Now here's some fabric from my friend Holly Dalton. She sent me this years ago, and I still have a remnant of it left, a little piece of it left. So I'm going to put some of this in. And that can just be a page by itself. I have two of those layered together. And I've got some of Jacqueline's cheesecloth. I think I might just put that on to make this look cool. And see, look, I have a little bit of this here. Isn't this cute? I'm just going to maybe stitch that on, but I need a back. Let's see, let's take a piece of this. It's going to have to go this way. See, I don't generally measure anything. That's just how I like to do it. But now, if you want to measure this, and you can do like your quilting squares and stuff, miter things, can have at it. Do it. All right, so this seems a little wide to me, really. Let's just get my template out here. Oh, yes, this is quite large. So I'm going to cut this and trim this down. Vanessa, do you go to Junk Shop Johnny's or Ginger Cat Pam's? They are awesome junk journals. Thanks, Brenda. She does. Is that where you're from? Oh, thanks for coming in. It's always nice to have new art buddies. All right, so these little bits I'm going to put to the side. So this one I'm kind of thinking about decorating it as I assemble my pages. So you want some of it to stick off the top, and so I'm going to just leave that like that. Let's just do a couple more. I was thinking blue and green mostly, so I have some green cheesecloth from Jacqueline, and I think I could use some more pages, really. This one's going to be a little short, and this one is a little cattywampus. Oh, Joanne sent you the link. Oh, thanks, Joanne. Oh, for here or somewhere else? Well, thanks, Joanne, regardless. Thank you for whoever. Look, isn't this going to be pretty? Let's do that. Now, see, I don't mind if pages, some being a little longer, some being a little shorter, but like Tim Holtz will say, you do you. It's your creation. Do what you like, right? Do what you think is going to look good and it's going to make you happy. Happy. Because I was going to iron this and I didn't. This might look nice on a piece of that. So here's another piece of fabric, like upholstery sample. So maybe this might look good stitched onto there. I just have to find a backing for it. Let's cut that right there. Now, a lot of the shindy, you've heard me talk about the shindy fabric, the shindy carpet fabric. And a lot of that is more like a nylon, not like a fabric that has any body or weight to it. This one's a little more sturdy. And I think this one can go here now. And I think I want to back this one. Oh, see, that's wrong. I can bring it over. A lot of it has got these big stitches on it. So I think I kind of want to keep that to just make this look funky. Funky. You might have some old hankies, or see an old sheet, or maybe you're looking through a rack at a yard sale or something and you see some buttons on a shirt that you like or something. Well, you can use little snippets of the fabric too. Let's do it this way. See, I really want to cover up that paper that I couldn't get off on this. And then I'm thinking I might just put that way. We'll see. So in all total, I'm thinking I went like 13 pages. So this is going to... Oh, Vanessa has a channel? Oh, that's good to know. Oh. Hey, Dar, how are you? Did you try undo? I don't know who that's for. I don't know if Jacqueline or Kel or maybe Peggy, one of you, maybe you could find Vanessa's channel and put that in. Oh, there she did. She got it. I should know. Peggy got it. And then you could check it out. Hey, Vale, good morning. I hope you're well rested. So let's go to the next step. So this isn't going to be finished because I want to put more pages in than I have ironed. Look, I'm thinking about sticking this in. Maybe not. We'll see. So I just pulled out, I keep a couple of, what would you call them? Bobbins, I think they call them, right here by my desk. So I just have these basic colors. This is like a creamy, a light yellow. There's a light like shell pink. and off-white, and then just some browns. Normally, I probably would use a red or something, something that's going to stand out a little bit more. But like I said too, in all likelihood, I would put these on my machine and do like a zigzag around the pages. Vanessa, old books and sorry silk, you had me at hello. I know, they're goodies, huh? I know, aren't they cute? I love them. Okay, I've got some herbal tea here that I brewed and put some ice in it. No sugar. No sugar. Okay, so I'm just going to take, I hope, a needle. Now I want a needle that has a little bit of a point to it because I want to get. Oh, that one's pretty good. But see that hole is kind of. I do this all the time. I know I have a threader. I think that one's going to work well if I can get it threaded. So I think for stitching around the pages and putting the fabrics together, ideally for me on the sewing machine is great. But I'm just going to do this rough. It's just going to be very rough and rustic. And then I'm going to show you how I'm going to put my pages together to assemble the book. So I think I would like this to be able to see this a little bit on this darker. So I'm going to take some of this like shell pink. This is just some embroidery thread. And of course it's 6 strands, which I don't know that I need 6 for this. So I'm going to take it down to 3. I'm going to split it in half. If my eyes can see 3. That's 3. Okay. Now, this is always sometimes I get it in the eye easily, but then it sticks. Oh, look! Then it sticks to my fingers, you see. And then I pull it back out. Now you could bank it. You could bank it. You could blanket stitch. Thank you, Peggy. Or just like a straight stitch. So I don't want to see my knot. So I'm going to just tuck it behind here. I'm just doing 2 layers. And maybe I'll do a combo. So I'm going to do a blanket. And I don't care if it's all uneven because this is just going to be junky and yucky. And I was going to run my thread through my ink. Maybe I should do that now. My ink pad to just kind of grunge this up. See, because I'm grunging everything else up, I didn't grunge this up. But I could, and I should. Let's see, I'm not seeing my blending tool. Usually I just take my blending tool down like this and then just drag it through one of my ink pads. Of course, you do this before you put it in the needle, guys. Now, if you have a lot of time and patience, you could certainly soak this in your coffee and or use a darker thread. There's an idea. Hello, yeah. Okay, so I had a really weird dream. All right, are you ready for this? Who knows? I like listening to comedians, certain comedians that are so funny to me. And one that is really funny to me is this young fella called Nate Bargatze. Does anybody know who Nate Bargatze is? I know Jacqueline does because I've talked to her about him quite a bit. He's just so funny to me. And he's so adorable. I mean, when he first started to come on the scene, I'm sure it was a lot longer for him than it was. It seemed like all of a sudden there he was. He was a little overweight, and his hair was just, his normal brown color, and then he started to go gray, and he took some weight off. He's got, you do, Dar? Oh my gosh, I just love him. So I had this dream the other night. I was somewhere. I was either reclining on a poolside recliner thing. Okay, Ange. Or it was a hospital bed. I don't know which it was, but I was out in this big area, like in a hotel lobby or something. There were a lot of people scurrying around, and I could hear his voice, and he's doing one of his bits, telling some of his jokes. Okay, and I'm coloring. I've got a coloring book on my lap. It was some kid's coloring book. It was all scribbled on the last two pages, but the page I was coloring on was fine. And I hear his voice, and I knew it was him, and I couldn't believe that he was there. So he comes walking by, and he was there with his family, his wife and his daughter. So he comes walking by, and I just held up the coloring book to him, like, would you autograph this? Handed him a Sharpie pen, and he autographed the coloring book. But when he wrote it, it wasn't a Sharpie pen, it was some like colored pencil, and he autographed it on the scribbled page. So I was kind of annoyed, but I couldn't believe he was there and what I was seeing. So next thing you know, this woman's talking to me, and she's asking me about, do I have any of something? I didn't recognize the word she was using. Here it was his wife. I know, right, Gail? I mean, I don't usually, I'm sure I dream, but I don't usually remember dreams. Here it was his wife looking for nail polish remover. So wherever I was, I took them back to my took them back to my room. And I'm hunting all over my room for nail polish remover for Nate's wife. So she's working on getting her nail polish off, and then he comes in. He's still doing his comedic routine. He's still telling his jokes, and it's like, okay. And I don't know if there was a commercial that came on that I heard that put him in my mind, but it's not like I was watching one of his bits. Oh my gosh. He has so many reels and stuff. I thought, how? And he looked so, it was like truer than what, it was just so bizarre. My husband has a lot of bizarre dreams, but he watches a lot of weird stuff. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this is how this one's looking. All right. No, I'm not going to have enough thread to finish um, this totally, but that doesn't really bother me either. Because this is really going to be just a kind of a whatever. I think it's going to be darling when it's done. I never know how to finish this off. Yes, this one had a storyline. I mean, oh my gosh, it's so bizarre. And I didn't scream like you think you would have been screaming like, "Oh my gosh." I mean, I think he's so adorable. He's so likable, and he's clean. He doesn't use any foul language or anything. Some of the stuff, oh my gosh, some of the stuff he says. Now, somewhere I had those little flowers. This was a did I not get those out? They might still be over in the bin. Oh, yeah, here's a navy blue one. This was trim, some vintage trim I think I purchased off of somebody online, like eBay or something. And it was red, white, and blue. Or it might have been Facebook Marketplace. It doesn't really matter, does it? Red, white, and blue flowers. They were all attached together, like a trim. So I'm thinking I want to put that on that page. That has to dry out. So that's going to go on there. All right. So that's going to be a page. Then this is just going to be a page on its own. Now, this one I've got is like a carpet type upholstery type of fabric. And then just this little, you know how you get those? I think they call them jelly rolls. And it's all on like a big roll, and they're all different colors and different um, patterns of fabric. And they're usually, a lot of them are pinked on the ends. Oh, it does, Joyce? Oh, and that's kind of comforting too, right? Oh, that's sweet. Um, so I had some of those little bits left over. So I'm going to put these two together. I'm going to take that other half of my thread that yes, jelly roll. Thank you, Gail. Those jelly rolls are not cheap. Of course, that kind of jelly roll, I will tell you, is easy on the waistline. Okay? But not easy on the pocketbook. All right, so I am going to do it beforehand this time. All right, I have an idea about us for a stream. It might be kind of crazy. I want to see what you think. What if one time during a stream, you all come prepared with a song or two, an idea, and if I know the words, we'll sing it. Lila Vanilla, why are you bringing that? Oh, Jelly Roll. Oh, Lila Vanilla. That's the bakery Kellen I like to go to. Oh baby, oh baby. All right, let's see if I can do this again. See, the other part of my problem is I did it. I should be wearing contact lenses, and then I have my readers on top of that to help me see. And I haven't been wearing my contacts because they make my eyes dry. And I just haven't put them in. Now, I like leaving all these little threads and all hanging. I think that's part of the charm for me. So I'm going to hide this knot. You probably don't even have to knot it, but oh, I didn't knot it. Then it'll lay flatter. This, I'm just going to do a running stitch on this one, I think. See, to me, that's backwards. I should have started at the other end. Let's try it this way. Maybe not a running stitch, maybe a back stitch or something. I don't know. I'm not burst in stitches. Okay, keep them pretty big and chunky, I think. I'm doing this backwards for me. Now this, of course, can be considered slow stitching, right? I could glue these pages together. But if you have a sewing machine, I mean, I really like the way the sewing machine, you can do zigzag or different stitches too. And I think most people stitch straight on a sewing machine. I'm not one of those people, but there's that. And then you can do little fancy stitches too. Like you could just do little X's or knots in the corners, right? And I'm doing this because I want my pages to be thicker and because I don't want to see that plain or the undecorated side of the fabric. Let's see, let's go something different here. And you can do different stitches on the same page, doesn't all have to be the same. I feel like I'm really going backwards. All right, I'm going to just do the little inny outy thing here. Inny outy thing. Now you could layer 2 or 3 layers of pages too. So if you wanted your pages to have a little more bulk or thickness. See, I'm just making these all cattywampus and crazy. But then you can, once you get your pages, and I wouldn't do it at this point, but you could put buttons on or whatever before you stitch your pages together. Now, I'm not doing it like a traditional, like signature type page. I don't usually remember my dreams either, Peggy. I mean, I do have a sense of sometimes I'm like, oh, I didn't really want to wake up from that one. It really was, enjoyable for whatever reason. Um, but generally, I don't. But this one with the comedian was so vivid. It must have been a reel. Maybe they came up, and as I was drifting off to sleep, I don't know. It was bizarre. Bizarre. I don't really need any stitches on this back side, I don't think, where I'm going to connect them to each other. And I'm going to connect them very simply. Wow, that stitch is really big. That's a big old stitch. I'm just going to shoot this down in between the pages. And pull my thread out. And then I can trim that off. So this is going to go on top of here, page 3. So you see what I'm doing, right? So I'm going to make these pages, and then once I get them all stitched in the way that I want them, then I'm going to start adding other little things onto them before I stitch the book together. See, like this. I can just do a little French knot, or you know what? I can use my tiny attacher. I know. They were having, what did they need? They needed a hot water heater or something, and the guy comes and comes to the door and says, "I'm here about the water heater, the hot water heater." And Nate says, "Oh yeah, okay." He said, "You got some on your truck there? We could just come pick one out." He's like, "No, it's the man of the house home." He says, "Yeah, she's here somewhere." He he just cracks me up. And then she doesn't talk the way he likes her. She doesn't talk the way he likes her to talk. He said, "Well, you talk, you say things that tells nobody nothing. When are you leaving for the airport?" They were all meeting at the airport. He was out traveling and working, and his wife and his daughter were going to meet him in Florida, and they were going to have a couple of days vacation or something, if I'm remembering it correctly. He said, "When are you leaving for the airport?" And she said, 11:30. And he said, "Laura, I think if the plane was in a driveway, you wouldn't even be able to get it on time." And she said, "Well, that's when we're leaving here." He said, "Well, what good is that information to me?" She said, "Well, I'm sorry you don't like the way I talk." He says, "Well, I'll tell you one thing, we didn't talk in Florida." He just cracks me up. He wants to have his friends come over for pizza, and she wants him to call and find out how many slices they're going to eat. He's like, "I'm not doing that. These are grown people. They have real jobs." He said, "I'm not calling them, asking them how many slices of pizza you think you're going to." Gosh, he's so funny. Look, see, now I think that kind of looks cute. Maybe not so much this side. Maybe I should put this on this side. So then when I get all these the way that I want them, then I could put a little glue there. I think I want to put paint on some of these pages too. Let's see. I'm going to turn my heat gun on, my glue gun on, just because I have it here and I can. And a little dab there. Well, I could use my Fabrifix too, I guess. Oh yeah, I think that's been going on a while, Joyce. Yeah, you have to be careful. He wanted a second dog. I could go on forever. He wanted a second dog. His wife didn't want a second dog. It's too much trouble to have a second dog. He said, "Oh yeah, you have to hold the door open longer and say, 'Come on, let's go out.'" He just cracks me up. It's the whole way he delivers. See, I didn't iron this one. I don't think it's still a little damp. All right, let's see what else I got here. See, so that's kind of plain there. That's kind of cool. This, I think a blanket stitch would look nice around. But see, I've got this really cool. Where's my? Oh, here it is. Let's just do the Fabrifix. Yeah, well, things not written in stone, Cal. It's not written in stone. That flower will look just as good on the other side. I think. I think. I'm not so liking those dots right now. A change with the wind. I also have to fix that. And see, kind of like this. Maybe I'll make a little bow here. This is probably getting a little too carried away with the pages before I get them together. Yeah, this is still a little too damp. Nate has a movie coming out. I cannot wait. I think it's not until March, and it's called, I think it's called The Breadwinner or something like that. Something about bread. And his wife. Okay, Debbie, have a great day. His wife is a writer or something, maybe, and she's got a book deal and she wants to go on tour and he's got to take care of the house or something. It's something like that. It looks hysterical. It looks so funny. Yeah, I want this to be the where it's attached. Lori, having this mounted on the left might interfere with putting the spine together. Lori, having this mounted on the left might interfere with putting the spine together. I don't think it will. All right, so this is going to go this way. Because the way I'm putting it together is going to be so super simple. I'm just doing 3 stitches. Yeah, I know you mean my flower. But I'm just doing 3 stitches. And I'm going to do them where you just poke it all the way through, bring both threads up, and then tie it. So I think it'll be fine. And these two, I might want to do a navy stitch on this one. That page is going to go. I need something for that, like the top page. Maybe this. I'm going to pin this one because I think I want to do this one on my sewing machine. I think I want to zigzag that around, and I think that's might be my top page. So I'm going to show you on this one how I'm going to bind it all together. So just imagine there's 13 pages together, and then I'm going to take probably I might use like a red or something that's really going to like stand out and look, because when I've gotten little bits of a bedspread or a quilt that's been put together this way, usually the threads are like a bright red or something. So that's probably what I'll pull out. But for right now, for the purposes of showing you here, I'm just going to use what I have. I'm going to use this brown. But of course, if you're going to make something similar, you're going to just use what you like and whatever you have available and what works for you. Now, I'm not sure that this is going to work. I might have to get a different. I like how this needle. Whoa, it's a good threading day. It's a good threading day. So, and I don't know if this is how they really do it. Now, this I might like to have. Wait a minute. See, I think I want this to feel a little thicker. You could put a little felt in between or a little batting or something. What do I have sitting here that I could use to just make it a little? You could put a piece of paper, really, for that matter. Um, I just want to thicken it up, make it a little thicker. You're not really going to see this part. Looks like the breadwinner. Oh, March. Oh, that's soon? Yes, 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 with Mandy Moore. It looked so funny. I saw a trailer a while ago, and I said to my husband, he doesn't like to pay for things to watch. I said, I want to watch this. He's like, honey, it doesn't come out. Of course, that was in February. I said, it doesn't come out till March. It kind of reminds me of, remember that Steve Martin movie years ago? And he had to watch the kids or something. And oh my gosh, it was all kinds of trauma, all kinds of stuff. It was so funny. So I just want to make that a little thicker. Now I'm going to attach all these together. Um, like normally you would, maybe do a stitch all the way around or a zigzag or whatever. But I'm going to show you how I'm going to put the binding together and use this. So I'm just going to go down through the top. Yeah, kind of like like a Mr. Mom kind of a thing. And I'm going to leave this pretty long because I want to tie it. And then I'm just going to come really right next to it. I could put a button here too. I could put a button on to make this a little nicer looking than just. And then I just am going to tie it. And then I'm going to leave my strings hang pretty, not real long, but longer. My sister's girlfriend made her a rag quilt, and this is how she finished it off. Where she just put little, I mean, there might be a term for it. I don't know because I'm really not, a stitcher. I think it's just supposed to be funny and lighthearted, though, not true. As far as an outdated theme, yeah, I get what you're saying, though, Gal. Um, might put another one here, but I'm going to do that for my spine. 1, 2, 3, just to hold it together. And on the top, I'm going to have those little threads. Those little threads are going to be sticking out. Let's find a button. A bouton. Somewhere in this deep dark. I had a little bottle with buttons. A little bottle with buttons. Where's my buttons I just got from Pearl? Let's look in this. Let's look in here. I always do it. Gotta get that. Kind of like that. Gotta get that circus song in there. I think I want a 2-holer. I think I want a 2-holer. Maybe that. Oh, look at this one. I might have to put that on too. think it looks like it goes with that. No, I kind of like it on this one. All right, so same deal. Gonna slip the button on this time. Nope, I'm doing it wrong. Doing it wrong. Want the tail out the top. Boy, it doesn't take much to get me confused. So I got this Instant Pot. It's been a couple of years now. Jacqueline was talking to me about making bone broth and all this stuff for different stuff she does in her Instant Pot. And of course, I don't really cook. Oh, I didn't do that good, guys. Didn't do that good. Well, we'll have to glue something there. All right, so I'm just tying this. I'm not stitching it down. I'm just tying. So I think it's twice a year we have a community yard sale. They're all old people that live here, guys. All old people. So sometimes you can get some really cool stuff, So I can't really walk it. So I go around the car and I just kind of stalk different places, different houses, and see if there's anything I think I would like to have. And then I stop and I go and look at their stuff and then hop back in the car. So a couple years ago, I said to my husband, "You want to ride around with me?" He's like, "Yeah, okay, but I don't want to be gone, for hours." I'm like, "Okay, that's fine." So we're driving around. I said, "You got to look to see if there's anything, that we might be interested in." Yeah, okay. Like, he's like so not into this. And I said, "I think there's an Instant Pot there." He's like, "No, I don't think so." I said, "I'm pretty sure that's an Instant Pot." He's like, "No, well, let's go around." So we go around the corner. We come back. I said, "Get out and go check and see. I think that's an Instant Pot." Because he was the runner. I was the driver. Sure enough, we stop and it was an Instant Pot. $10. $10. No box, no instructions. The pot and the basket, inside. Did it? Yeah, I think it had the basket inside. Of course, the lid, the plug. $10. I'm like, I could have lost my mind. I was so excited. Well, every time I go to use it, I forget how to like manual set it, and I have to look it up online, or I have to ask Jacqueline. And Jacqueline says it's the pot. It's not me. But I can assure you, it's me. It's not the pot. It works fine. The little pin thing comes up and it builds up the pressure and the steam. But I cannot, for the life of me, figure out how to set it for a certain amount of time. Not the timer, not like you want it to come on, a half hour before you get home from work, not that kind of thing, but how to put, you know, 4 hours on it. I mean, I'm just so bad with these things. I'm just bad with household stuff. I just really am not good with household stuff. All right, so this I want for my cover. So see, I'm just going to continue to stack these. See, now it's going to be hard to push my needle through all these layers, but I'll do it. And then I'm just going to come up with the 2 threads, right? And then just, I do, Peggy, but it doesn't always move. And um, there's a big long space, so I can't tell if it's hours or minutes. I know, right, Brenda? I think it's cute too. So, and it's just going to be attached in those 3 spots, but see, it'll work okay. And then I can come back in and pin things, or, this will get trimmed, because I want to zigzag it, and then this I want to, put on after. So now I'm thinking I want to try, maybe not that. Um, this won't be enough. This won't be long enough. I think I want to try that fancy stitch. It shows in minutes, so it has to be like 120 minutes. See, because I can't see like the 2 dots, and then I'll have 2 numbers, and then all of a sudden a 4 will pop up. But it's not over. It's like where there's, I don't know. It's very confusing to me. I have to do more research and find somebody who maybe I'm asking the wrong question. I'm not asking how to set the timer, because that's a delayed. I got that. I got that. I understand what that's about. It's just setting it for, like, because Jacqueline says, I'll say, how much time do you cook your broth? And she'll say 3 to 4 hours. So you can get the marrow out and all that stuff. Yeah, that's a good idea, Gail. I did think about that. I just haven't done it. That's an excellent idea. I have to figure out where my model number is, because this is an older one. I was in Walmart, and I thought, oh, well, let me see. What is that pot? And it looks so cool. I walk over, it's an Instant Pot. It was so pretty and so cool. I just mostly want it for making broth and soup, you know? But it was like $140. And it really, other than being, nicer looking, it was the same as mine. For $10. Okay, got it. I've got it. Now this one I want to go this way, because I want these on the edge. Oh, that's got that. So that's not gonna do. Okay. I'm not wanting that. I want something different there. Hold on. Hold the phone. I'll take this piece. No. I got myself. Maybe I'll blanket stitch this and then put the 2 together. All right, so I'm coming in the back to start. I made my thread really long because I want to have enough. And I can pull this down. How am I on time? Hour 39. Okay. All right, so I saw somebody doing something where they wound their threads around the blanket stitch thing. I thought, oh my gosh, I'll have to watch that a million times to get it. All right, so I'm going to do my little fancy schmancy. I'm going to do a couple of regular blanket stitches, and then I'm going to do like I was doing a couple of days ago. I don't know if you can see me. So I'm just doing this. I'm pulling my stitch like this. maybe not even be able to see it. Okay, so I'm going right underneath that stitch. And I'm just pulling it to make another, like a little knot or another little stitch there. You're probably not even going to see this that well because I decided to do it in the dark brown. That's 3, I think. I want to do 4, 5, or 6. 4. 5. 6. And not everybody has it, right? I don't think. Peggy, you're so cute. Thank you. um, not everybody does it, right? I think where Holly lived in Arizona, she didn't do it. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this. It's like a little eyebrow thingy. Okay. You got to be careful because see, look, I've knotted this here. My tail got stuck in my. Got in a hurry, got myself all twisted, and it's catching. Let's see. Let's have a little snip. Boop, 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 boop. I think I'm going to leave a space there and do another regular stitch. All right, and then that's what I'll do. So this will take me a little while. So you get the gist, right? This one I'll do that stitch around. Then I'm going to look through my other. I don't have that many pages here. Well, you don't need, I mean, you can do as many pages as you want. I was thinking I'd like to have 13. And then if you wanted any kind of a closure, you could certainly tie or stitch something on. 3. 4. 5. Haven't heard from our son, so I doubt he's coming. So I'm going to continue that around, and then I'm going to attach this to this piece. And I think I'll put, I don't know. I don't know what I'll do. Maybe I'll just do the top and the bottom. I don't know. I can decide as I go, right? But that's going to be another page. These here. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, I have more than I thought. 8. Now that I'm going to trim. Some others I have to still, of course, stitch. See how this is all cattywampus here? I'll put some other lace or something there. And then I'm going to put my 3 stitches down the spine to attach it. And then, yeah, that's where Holly lived. She lived in Arizona. Yeah. So, and then I can put in, all these other little goodies that I might like to put in. See, I've got that pin collection. Of course, I got a bigger one. If you ever watch Janet Nash, she's got this little fabric book that, oh man, she just, she finds a little snippet of something and she just stitches it on. And I put some of that kind of thing in my coffee dye. I didn't put, well, like this, a little bit of lace, or that yo-yo's really kind of big, isn't it? That's a shame. This is really not right. Um, little bits of stuff. Excuse me. Look, here's a little piece of lace. Now, see, I want to make a couple of these, so I've got my work cut out for me as usual. But hey, I'm retired, and that you can sit, once you get your fabric stained, if that's what you desire to do, well, you could do one just with regular fabrics that you like too. It doesn't have to be, this isn't super grungy. I would like it to be a little more grungy, but see this little bit of lace? See, I'll just dry that off and that can be stitched on. There's a couple other little bits I thought, oh yeah. See, like this. I'll iron that and dry it, and then I can trim that. See, just stitch it on. Just stitch it on wherever I want. Add buttons. Look at this. Add little things like that. I have metal. Hey, we all have stuff, right? We all have stuff. Some of those pearl beads that Joyce sent me, they would look cute on there. A little ball of this different kind of cheesecloth. This is I don't know that it's cheaper, but it's just a different kind of a cheesecloth than what Jacqueline uses. Or a piece of sorry. I'm so sorry, Uncle Albert. A little piece of seam binding can hang and dangle, or you can have, threads. I try to leave, like on the sewing machine, I'll leave the threads longer. And usually I just have to punch on a harder surface, get my needle all the way through. You have to use a longer needle. But yeah, that's all I want to do. That's all I wanted to do. Now, Jacqueline's daughter was making, where did I put that? Because I took the little edges and dyed. Hold on, these are all too big. I don't think there's a, did I throw, oh, here it is, Bloom. This one might be a little too big. Some of them are smaller. Look, I could trim that down and just stick it on. Right? Okay, Gail, enjoy your day. Nice to see you. Have a good week. Have a good week. Of course, I put my really good fabric scissors, who knows where, in that safe place. I'm just squeezing this in the paper towel. Tuck that back a little bit. I don't want purple there. Let's see. I'm going to use, hold on. There are those. Maybe I will use purple. Oh, that's purple. Maybe I could use purple. Hold on. Hold on. Let's see what happens. See, now I'm anxious to get this together. So I'm going to iron the rest of my pages, probably grab a little bit of lunch. I made some pea soup. I'll get some of my pea soup, stitch those pages, and dry off the rest of my fabric, Oh, you're welcome, Cynthia. Thanks for coming in. It was nice to see you all. It was nice to meet. Okay, so now I'm getting Streamer's brain. Da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da. What did the girls call her? Vanessa. Vanessa. It was nice to meet Vanessa, and Joe was here. I don't know. I've been Joe's first time to be here. I met Joe the other night. Yeah, it was good to see you all. Thanks for coming in and spending some time with me this morning. I appreciate that. So enjoy the rest of your week. Make sure you take some time for yourself, do something that you like to do. Maybe relax a little bit. I think a lot of us, a lot of times, are just go, 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 go. Don't forget to take some time for yourself. Oh, yes. The green hearts that Jay just put up reminded me. It's St. Patrick's Day is coming up. That's my wedding anniversary, if you can even stand it. Oh my gosh. St. Patrick's Day is coming up. So, yeah. So enjoy the next few days for sure, okay? Springs coming. Springs are coming. You are my sunshine, my only. Thank you, Judy. Enjoy your day. Don't forget, take time to be creative. Enjoy the journey. And until I see you next time, I love you. Bye-bye.